Welcome back to Bulgaria and welcome back to Bdin Vidin in our Football Manager 24 Build a Nation save. So last season we completed phase 5 on our journey, which was win the title. Now we move into phase 6, which is to become dominant. Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of our Build a Nation save here in Bulgaria. As the manager of Bdin, we have reached the end of the season. After last episode we crashed out of the Champions League. The round of last 16, which was absolutely fantastic performance as far as Bdin are concerned. Now there's no live com today, it's just a review of what's happened during the season, which we're going to go over, and we're going to start with this. And that's another league title in the bag, guys. We claim it back from Ludogorets Razgrad. We've made it 3 now in 4 years for Bdin. Ludogorets have had a very poor season in terms of their performance, which we'll obviously see when we go through that in a minute. But yeah, it's been quite a poor season for Ludogorets. Of course, they blew us away last year to reclaim the title from us, but we've gone and done it this season and claimed it back from them. So it's been a fantastic season as far as Bdin are concerned. So let's look back at how we got to winning that title, and obviously after crashing out against Arsenal in the Champions League. I say crashing out, we were very unlucky not to get past them, but we straight back to winning ways in the league against Lokomotiv Sofia. Philip Verhunig and August Prisk with the goals. Levski Sofia were next, a 1-0 win away from home courtesy of Philip Verhunig. Another 1-0 away from home win, this time against Slavia Sofia. Christoph Danik with the only goal of the game in the 88th minute, despite a dominant performance from us. Much better next time out at home to Lokomotiv Plovdiv. It was Avesa Van Halle, who is very much a youth player at the club, Anselmo Garcia McNulty and Samuel getting on the score sheet. Again, Samuel, another one of those young, good players that we've got. Hopefully he's going to do a lot of good for us. Van Halle is a midfielder, 18-year-old Finnish midfielder. He's on the development list, so hoping to find a move for him. He's currently listed as a good Vitória Liga player, that's so second tier, but look at his potential that he's got absolute bags of it. Hopefully he can hit that. A very disappointing result next time out at home to Dunav, who stuck at the bottom of the table basically, and you can see just how dominant we were in the game. We've had a great performance. Albert Elno picking up the man of the match performance. We only hit the target 4 times though, and we never really looked like scoring, and it's dropped points. It was very poor. Did bounce back against Arda Karjali though in the next one. August Prisk, Dario and Samuel on the score sheet. Butalev did get a late consolation for Arda Karjali, but we played extremely well in this one again. Something of a bogey team for me throughout most of this save has been CSK 1948. Elliot Anderson and Alex Mendoza gave them the lead. 2-0 lead after 38 minutes. Christoph Danik did get one back after 45, but we missed 2 penalties in the second half. Paulo Bernardo and then Christoph Danik 4 minutes apart from each other. We were the much better team, and as we'll see later on in the season as well, I just can't buy a win against CSK 1948, and I don't know what it is. We did, however, take on Botev Plovdiv in the next game, and they took the lead again from the penalty spot in the 4th minute, but Slobodan Rengel and Tonino Guerrero with an 81st minute winner for us. We've still got Tafizo Umpunch Shane on loan there. He's not really played too much football though, which I'm a little bit concerned about. He should be playing much more football than he has been. I'm pretty sure that we've got another player on loan at Botev as well. I can't remember though. There's quite a few of them out on loan. Not as many as I'd like still, but there is still quite a few out on loan. Yeah, but a great return to winning ways. And we did it again against Pirin Blavrograd. Paulo Bernardo and Nikolai Young with both the goals in the first half. There is some interest being shown from abroad in Nikolai Young as well. May let him go, depending on what kind of money I can bring in for him. If I can make a big profit on him, then he's probably going to find himself on the way out. He's not really developing as much as I'd like him to. I know he's still only 20, but he could do. He's also injury prone, poor in the air, stuff like that. So he may find himself leaving the club at some point. Cost us 2.5 million. If I can get 6.5, 7 for him, then we'll probably say goodbye to Nikolai. But a good 2-0 win against Pirin. Spartak Varna were next. They're doing quite well in the league at Spartak Varna, but a 3-0 win. Triantis, Subic and Danik with the goals. Spartak Varna did not register a single shot on target. which from our point of view is a very, very good performance considering how well Spartak Varna have done in the league table. And the game that clinched the title, just 2 games into the championship season, Dario, August Prisk and Filip Vihunik with the goals in quite an even game, to be fair to Ludogorets, but they've just not been at the races this season. And like I say, when we have a look at the league table in a minute, that's something that we're going to see. And after that point, we just started playing kids, really. We massively rotated the squad. We brought some of the kids in to get some game time. And the first game was against Baro Jiatao with the goal for Baro. But Jan Kitenge, who is one of those young prospects who we've signed, maybe not got the quite got the potential that we need him to have, but he could be definitely a loan farm player for the future. He got the goal and the man of the match performance, but you can see some of the players. We've got Guillermo Fernandez, the Paraguayan, who we've signed from Olympia, I think. Olympia in Paraguay, 18-year-old, again, got loads of potential. Definitely one for, he's listed as a decent FBet League player, so could become a loan farm player, help him develop. But just look at the names that we've got playing here. There's not too many first team players in that squad, and a 1-1 draw against Baro is quite a good result. Continued that into the next game against CSK 1948 with the youth players playing, and as I said, I cannot get a win against CSK 1948. Defeat 1-0 Thiago Pereira with the only goal of the game. We were better this time, you know, but it's still not really a great performance from Bdin, and again, a defeat, but it didn't really matter. But we did wrap it up with the first team in the final game of the season, away to Levski Sofia. Jose Cordoba with an own goal in the 52nd minute for Hunik, and Danik to wrap it up for Bdin. Lima picking up the man of the match, and that brings our league season to an end. Which, if we have a quick look at the league, we'll stick it on the proper one. You can see that we were 9 points clear coming into the championship phase. If we stick the championship phase on now, we finished 14 points clear of Levski Sofia with far superior goal difference. Levski finished second, CSK 1948 finish in third, Ludogorets Razgrad in fourth place, which tells you just how bad of a season that they've actually had. It's been quite poor from Ludogorets, to be fair. They're only 2 points clear of Spartak Varna, which they've only just scraped in there on the last day of the season. Spartak dropped points. Ludogorets got the win against Baro. Goal difference wise, it wouldn't have made a difference anyway, but if Spartak had won their game. But Ludogorets almost not in the European spots, which would have been something of a shock. We've got the 3 highest average ratings in the league. In fact, we've got the 6 highest average ratings in the league, which tells you the kind of season we've had. Subic with the second most assists. Goals wise, though, we're not doing great. Filip Vihunik got 14. I said Jiatao at the start of the season, he was a special player, and he's picked up the top scorer in the league. Most clean sheets by Adam Pat, though, again, which is fantastic. Just a quick update on how the cup went into the semi-final. First leg was away to Septembri Sofia. We tried to rotate the squad again, play the cup team, basically, and they disappointed. August Prisk got the only goal for us. Emil Bashov and Neto with the goals for Septembri Sofia. Luis Felipe, who's never hit the potential that I thought he was going to, and it doesn't look like he's ever going to either. He's star FBet League player, he's listed as by my assistant, I believe, does this, but I need to be loaning him out, really, or just selling him. He's not really done it for us. So defeat in the first leg. We did manage to overturn that in the second leg, though. We went a bit stronger this time. Triantis and Bethelson with the goals. Sirkos picked up an injury, unfortunately, but a 2-0 win for Bdin saw us go to the final. And that final was against CSK 1948, and it was 1-1 at full time. Dario and Frank Rougier with the goals in normal time, but we had a nice quick-fire double in extra time, in the second half of extra time, I believe. August Prisk and Paolo Bernardo from the penalty spot saw us lift the cup for the third time in our history after extra time. So that brings us on to this, guys, and it is the end of season review. 2 cups, we've got the league and the cup. Unfortunately, we didn't win the Charity Shield this year. We'll call it the Super Cup. We'll just call it the Super Cup. So sign of the season, the board have given it to Nikolai Young. I don't know why. Don't know why they've given it to Nikolai. He's only played one more start than Dario has. Dario's got a better, higher rating. He scored more goals. I don't know why Nikolai's got it, but he has. So that was transfers in. The board were extremely pleased with that one. Transfers out, the big one, of course, Pau Munoz has gone to Atletico Madrid for 9.25 million. Played 4 times for the B team. Whether he's going to develop is a different matter. He does have all of that potential. He's 20 years old now. We'll have to see. In terms of loans out, there's a whole bunch of them. A lot of them have gone to Maritza. Ludogorets coming in on loan for some of our players as well. For some of our promising players, they've not played. They've gone to the 3rd Ludogorets team to play, which is obviously disappointing. And in terms of the loan farm, they need to be, they need to be playing regular first team football, not third team football. As far as the results go, we've already had a look over that. Obviously, champions, it doesn't show the championship phase in here. I don't know why, but Dunav and Chernomets Burgas both relegated. Septemvri Sofia survived by the skin of the teeth, but Ardakar Jali did win the European playoff over Spartak Varna, so it's going to be Ardakar Jali appearing in the Conference League next season. So 5 teams in Europe next season. Champions League was absolutely fantastic. It was a great run from us. Getting through the knockout playoff at the end of the group stage, beating Porto 4-0 on aggregate was huge, and only losing 3-2 to Arsenal was absolutely massive. Average home attendance of 6,856, which is a little bit low. And then the cup, like I say, we have won the cup. Bethelsen and Philip Verhunig with the goals in that one. So moments to remember, the biggest win of the season was that 5-goal thriller against Septemvri Sofia. Timo Mas scoring all the goals in that one. Match to remember was a 4-0 drubbing of Lian in the Champions League. Goal of the season goes to Nectar Triantis in the Cup against Septemvri Sofia. In terms of revenue, it's been really, really good. Our club reputation's grown by half a star as well. Not entirely sure what that means in terms of the actual figures behind the scenes. We don't have the editor, so no idea what our reputation's up to. We will be able to see whether we've become the best, most reputable team in Bulgaria. Certainly in terms of coefficients, we'll be able to have a look at that when we do the coefficients. But we've got a 5-year deal worth 239k in terms of sponsorship, 1-year deal worth £47,500, which is not massive. So sponsorship is up by 100,000, if that, 80,000. Broadcast revenue is down quite a bit though by £400,000. Corporate hospitality is almost doubled. Prize money, 6 million more than last year. That's obviously because we've got a further stage. Matchday revenue has gone up as well. Merchandise sales of 301,000. Danik's still selling the most shirts. In terms of the team of the season, this is how we lined up. It's going to be Adam Pap, Rengel, Triantis, Antonino Guerrero, Subic, Lima, Arno and Danek, with Ali Marungu in the middle there. Philip Verhunig and August Prisk up top. Top goal scorer overall was Philip Verhunig with 24 and Prisk with 20. So in terms of the accolades, we've got some record breakers this season. Fans Player of the Season goes to August Prisk. Young Player of the Season to our star goalkeeper Adam Pap. Signing of the season, Nikolai Young. Like I said, I don't understand that one. Goal of the season, we've already seen, it was Nectar Triantis. Philip Verhunig, top goal scorer. Nenad Subic with 16 assists. Most Player of the Match awards for Verhunig with 8. Highest average rating is Prisk, and most passes completed is Slobodan Rengel. So record breakers, most goals by player in a match is Timo Mas, and he also gets that for the league most goals in a match as well. But most clean sheets by a player in a season goes to Adam Pap. So all we've got left to look at, guys, is the competition rankings and coefficients and whatnot. The FBet League has remained in 11th place, which obviously is not great. It would be nice if it went up. But Bdin do rise up the rankings. We've moved up 24 places to 40th now, which if we have a look, we're right behind our 2 parent clubs of Monaco and Rennes. We had a very, very good season this year, picking up 22 coefficient points for ourselves, which does move us up to 68, just behind these two. These next season, these two are losing these, a 24 and a 17. So if that stays like that, we are moving above some more clubs. In terms of how we line up in Bulgaria against the other teams, though, we'll just get Bulgaria up to the top there. You can see that we now have the highest coefficient score in Bulgaria, followed by Levski, then CSK 1948, and then Ludogorets dropping off quite drastically this season. They've had in fact, they've had a better season than CSK and Levski have in Europe, looking at that. Good news though, guys, is that Bulgaria have risen up the European coefficients table. We've moved up 2 places back up to 10th, which is fantastic. We've overtaken Scotland and the Ukraine, which if we have a look in 10th place now. We've had a great season, a 15.2 scored compared to the 11 and the 15.5 of Austria have moved above Ukraine as well. Ukraine have had a poor season in terms of coefficients. We've had a really, really good season for us. We need to obviously keep improving that now. Belgium is the next target, but next season we're losing an 11. They're losing a 6.7, so automatically that puts them, you know, way back ahead of us. We're currently 9 coefficient points behind them. Next season, if things stay the way they are, it's going to be 13. So we need to have a good season again next season. But what that does in terms of the qualification places, now that we're back up to 10th, straight back into the league phase, we don't need to qualify into the league path, whatever this one is as well. That's the second qualifying round, as opposed to where we were before. We were second and third qualifying rounds, weren't we? Still the same amount of teams though. We get a Europa League playoff spot, a Europa League group spot, so 1 straight into the Europa League, and we get a Conference League qualifying 2 spot as well. Obviously we need to, one more place we move up and we get slightly further in the Champions League. Not any extra clubs though. We need to move up possibly quite a few spots, up to 6th I think, before we gain an extra European spot, which is the goal. We need more teams in Europe earning us more points. In terms of how the individual teams have done, we'll start off with Ludogorets. They went straight into the Champions League phase, and they were drawn against Bodo Glimt for the first game, which they did pick up a win in. They lost then to Porto and Arsenal. Wins against Valencia, Young Boys with a draw, Shakhtar, good win over the Ukrainian side, which got them Napoli and Dortmund, 2 1-0 defeats, but that did qualify them for the knockout playoff round, where they were again drawn against Napoli. Unfortunately, they did lose that 4-1. Levski Sofia into the Europa League playoff round, where they were drawn against Molde. They were knocked out on penalties by Molde, though, unfortunately, so they did drop into the Europa Conference League. Only losing once to Kolos. I don't know where Kolos are from. The Ukraine, unfortunately, they've lost to the Ukrainian side, but good wins against teams like RFS. The Latvian side, we should be expected to beat Latvian teams. We did get a win against Marseille as well, though, which is really, really good. And that got them into the round of 16. They qualified straight into the... it's ticked over to next season, guys, so I can't see really. But it did get them straight into the round of 16. They were drawn against Malmo, went away to Sweden, and a 3-0 loss. They did bring them back to Bulgaria, and they beat them 3-1, but Malmo go through, what's that, 4-3 on aggregate. So a little bit disappointing from a Levski Sofia point of view. CSK 1948, they've got a nice full fixture list here in terms of Europe. They were in the Europa League qualifying path, league path. Hapoel Beersheva, they got through them on 4-1 aggregate. They beat Besiktas in the qualifying as well into the playoff, where unfortunately they were beaten by Bran, which dropped them into the Conference League. Losses to start the season off against Marseille and St. Gallen, but then pretty much undefeated for the rest of it since then. Wins against Cercle Bruges, Sheriff Tiraspol, draw against Brøndby, a win against Ritarai. Got them into the knockout playoff round, where they were drawn against St. Gallen, who they lost to in the league phase. This time they did come through though, a 2-1 win on aggregate. Beat Dynamo Kiev as well, knocked them out, got them into the quarter-final of the Conference League, where unfortunately they did lose 4-2 on aggregate to Schalke. Spartak Varna, not so great, unfortunately. They were in the Conference League in the qualifiers. They get past FC Minsk. They also got past Viking. Unfortunately, a defeat to TSC. TSC from Serbia. Defeat there on aggregate. So no proper qualification for Spartak Varna. And then, of course, there's obviously what we did ourselves, getting past Bran and Elect both on penalties, knocking Lian out as well. So we're knocking the French clubs out, which is good because they're above us. We did all right in the league phase, the Champions League phase. A couple of defeats in there to Napoli, Chelsea, Inter, but wins against Valencia, Bodo Glimt, Legia Warsaw, draw with Nice. Got us into the knockout round against Porto, a fantastic 4-0 win aggregate, which never should have happened. Almost did it to Arsenal as well to get to the quarter-final of the Champions League. But this is the furthest we've ever been in Europe. Hopefully we can build on that for next season. That is going to be it for this season though, guys. Nice quick roundup. You can see there that we've already got the kits in for next season as well. We've already done that. Like I say, the league has not ticked over. It hasn't ticked over. It just won't let me look at the Champions League because the competition's finished, the European competitions. Yeah. Hopefully we can have a good season again next season. The board have announced the stadium as well, by the way. It is due to move to the 9,943 capacity Bdin Stadium, so at least it's a higher capacity than what I thought it was. It's still not going to be big enough though, so in about a year's time we'll be moving to our new stadium. So it is our final season at the Georgi Pankowski Stadium. I will have to look at getting an imaging for the stadium into the game. In terms of facilities, we're really good now. The youth facilities upgrade has finished. I've also got them upgrading again already, which will take them up to 18, and then that's pretty much it. We've got one more youth facility upgrade after that, and we've got the best facilities in the world, arguably. Little old Bdin. Club values obviously skyrocketed. We're doing absolutely huge things. Ali Marungu is wanted by Arsenal though, so it's going to be quite difficult to keep hold of James. Hopefully we can though, but we'll obviously have to see what happens going into next season. But that is it for this season, guys. It's been a great season for us. We've reclaimed our title. We did well in Europe. We've won the cup as well, and financially we're doing really well. But I'll see you all next season, guys. I haven't decided when we're going to do the first game yet. I'm not quite sure if we go straight into the Champions League or not. We'll find out once the season ticks over, and we'll come back and we'll take on that first game. Until next season though, guys, thank you very much, and I'll see you then.